if you'll let me answer. What I think the right thing to do is, and I think our best solution ultimately is finding out safe, clean energy that can take us into the future. We've got some good things, but they're not doing nearly what they can do. I've been supportive of those things, but I also think we need new discovery. It's one of my hopes that we could see out of Fermilab, or out of Argonne. Hearing about some research that's coming out there that could be truly game-changing, that is clean energy, that doesn't have an impact on our environment. That's what I want to see happen. My fear is when government is picking winners and losers, when we're taking money away from research and putting into applied, I just think the market is much better at doing that than government is. I'll continue to vote that way. That's the way that I see it. And I think the best thing for our future is for our scientists to create that next new discovery that's going to be clean and safe.
The next question is relevant here.
It's our money.
The President's budget blueprint contains a proposed 17% cut to the Office of Science. Fermilab is an economic engine in the district, employing 1,800 people and bringing thousands more to this area every year. How will you fight to protect funding for Fermilab and the jobs and economic contributions it makes to the 14th district?
Well, I'm absolutely opposed to that. We've already voiced it, that I'm opposed to what the President's proposal was. I think it's a mistake. We've already written a letter to our appropriators. The thing you have to remember is a president doesn't make budgets. A president proposes budget. President Obama would present budgets. His budgets sometimes were voted on in the House. There were times where they got 0 yes votes. Same here. I'm saying the same thing, that ultimately we're going to work on budgets, we're going to pass appropriations. I'm going to do everything I can to continue to fight for our laboratories. I'm co-chairman and founder of the National Science and Laboratories Caucus. Every chance I get, I'm talking about what we're doing in our laboratories, how important they are. I'm also co-chairman of the STEM Caucus, STEM Education. Work with my co-chairman Dan Lipinski, and my co-chairman of the National Laboratories Caucus is Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico. But a wonderful group of bipartisan folks coming together, Republicans, Democrats, saying our laboratories are really important. And I get down to what I see is so important is, are we going to have our best and brightest, smartest young people being interested in going into science? The only way they're going to do that is if they see that there's a future here for them to have groundbreaking research and discovery. Our laboratories are a key part of that. Fermilab, they estimate 39,000 kids from K to 12, 12th grade, kindergarten through 12th grade, 39,000 are touched every single year by Fermilab, either by physicists that are going out, by teachers who are coming in, by programs that are going out. That's unbelievable. And then you tie in what it's doing with University of Chicago and the great impact that it has there, University of Illinois and all that's happening there, Northwestern. Our universities are benefiting because they're, as postdocs, able to come and be a part of research right away that literally could change the world. Quickly, one thing I'm really excited about and I'm working on is this long-base neutrino, some of the work that's happening with the Dune deep underground neutrino experiments. Neutrinos are so interesting, so exciting, so little that we know about these things, and yet we are at the forefront. We've got the right people at the right place to create the beam at Fermilab, and the perfect location for that to be shot through the Earth, that neutrino beam, and be received is in South Dakota. There's a former gold mine out there, Homestakes gold mine, that's been closed for a while. Now it's in Leeds, South Dakota, and they've got the Sanford underground mine out there. It's a phenomenal project that I believe is Nobel Prize worthy. I think we're going to see things come out of this type of experiment where we're going to, it's going to be earth-shattering. We blew it, our leadership blew it. I got 30 seconds left. Our leadership blew it a few years ago. We had the chance to have a superconductive super collider here in Illinois. We didn't have it. It didn't happen there. It's over in CERN. They've done amazing things there. Now we have to make sure we're still doing some world-leading science here in America. This is one of those things.
Okay, and on the budget, and we know it is proposed, but we have a kind of a quick yes/no on, please answer yes or no. Would you favor cuts to the following? And if you just answer yes or no, that would be helpful. Coast Guard?
No.
National Institutes of Health?
No.
National Endowment for the Arts?
No.
PBS Public Broadcasting?
No. I just was on. Cuts? No. I don't want increases, but I think we ought to...
Okay. State Department budget?
No.
National Parks?
Of increases or cuts?
Cuts.
No, I think it should stay the same.
NASA,
No.
libraries, and museums.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Order! Please!
How will you vote on HR 899, the bill to terminate the Department of Education? If yes, please explain.
I'd be opposed to that. I think there's a place. I'm a strong supporter of local control for education, and so I want to make sure that that the focus is locally. Any of you on school boards, thank you. You've got the toughest job, although I don't think you have to do this very often. Sit in front of a bunch of people. But thank you. If you serve on a school board, I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you. If you're a teacher, I want to say thank you. My daughter is studying to be a teacher. My wife is a teacher, and so I believe so strongly in teaching. So I believe public education is vital. It's something so precious that we've got here in America. But I also think there's a lot of different options that good choices are. One of my good friends that I served with in Springfield is a guy named James Meeks, senator from the south side of Chicago, and amazing man. And he had a bill that I supported, which said for the 10% most failing school districts, it's not fair to those students. We ought to give their parents an ability to get them somewhere else. I supported that. It didn't pass. But I think there is things that we can do to make sure, what I want to see is education, whatever it is, that the goal is to make sure it's serving kids, that it's educating kids, that it's not about serving any other bureaucracy, administration, anything like that, that is focused on making sure that our kids can learn, maximize their opportunity, maximize their future. That's what our schools are all about. Education is a big part of that, and making sure that our teachers are prepared to really light that spark. And I see it especially in science, where that's the challenge. A lot of, especially young people, get that initial spark of fire maybe in a grade school, and making sure that our schools and our teachers are able to help light that spark of science or engineering, technology, mathematics, and that is going to be the future for us. So very supportive of our public schools, want to make sure that they're doing the best that they can with the resources that they've got, but also very supportive of Catholic schools, some of the great work that they're doing, serving in areas, very supportive of other choices that people have. So I think each child learns differently, and choice, again, what I hear is good.
So, as a follow-up, you would support a national voucher system?
No. I don't even know what you're talking about with that. But
well, it's been proposed by our education secretary.
Well,
what steps will you take?
Here's what I would support. I did say, this one in Illinois I did support. I was a co-sponsor of it for the greatest failing. I think there has to be some recognition when a school district is failing, when kids are being thrown away, when you can look at the zip code of where a kid is from and determine if they can get a decent education or not. That's not right. And we've got to dig in and figure out how do we get these schools working again.
Education, the cost of education to attend a college particularly is ballooning. And it's very important to the people in your district to hear what you will do to help lower the costs of attending college.
Well, first thing is we need to be good consumers of our own education, recognizing that there's some really great choices out there that people have. It's interesting, the way that they do my district, that all happened in Springfield. There was a couple people who drew all the congressional districts down there. And the way my district is drawn, I mentioned 7 counties, but it has no 4-year university or 4-year institution anywhere in that. But I've got 7 great community colleges that serve that area. I'm so proud of our community colleges. I think they started here in Illinois. I think we've got the best community colleges anywhere in the world. So part of the things that I'm doing with young people that I'm talking to is, if you've got a lot of money saved up or can get a great scholarship to go to a 4-year university, great, do that. But make sure you know what you're signing up for. Make sure you know what kind of debt you're going to have coming out. I've got a bill that I've introduced called the Financial Transparency Act, the Student Aid Financial Transparency Act. And it's Democratic co-sponsorship. David Scott is a co-sponsor of this with me as well. But what it does is just saying that there ought to be disclosure of what payments are going to be once you graduate. Sort of like when you sign up for a mortgage. And to me, it's just common sense. And yet a lot of kids are signing up. The majority of loans that are given today don't have this type of ALTA disclosure of what the ultimate loan amounts are going to be. It's not right, it ought to change. It's something that I think we can get done this time, so we're going to keep working on it. So it's having good choices. Let me give one last example that goes, I was with a group of high school students from Burlington. We were here in St. Charles. We were going through Bison Gear, which is a company not too far from here. Phenomenal company making motors for ice makers around the world. Growing, really phenomenal. The guy who was taking us through started working part-time at nights. Now he runs the whole place. He was so excited about it. But he said to these high school students, you know, whatever you do, get your education. But if you're not sure what you want to do, think about coming to work for us. We'll pay for your education. We'll pay for you to get a college degree while you're working. So there's not one answer. Four-year universities might be great for some people. Community college might be great. Maybe 2 years of getting requirements out of the way and then going to the school that you want to go to. I think there's a lot of things that we can do. But in the meantime, we've got to have more transparency so people know what they're signing up for, that they're not hit like a ton of bricks once they graduate, realize they didn't find the job that they wanted to find, and now they've got this huge payment that they're going to have to start paying. We've got to make sure we're being honest with them as well, and that's what my bill would do.
President Trump has continued to refuse to disclose his tax returns despite having promised to do so and despite a long-standing tradition to disclose. Given the very serious allegations of Russian collusion and the public's concern with Trump's businesses profiting from foreign influences, what, if anything, are you prepared to do to require disclosure of Trump's tax returns?
Well, a couple thoughts there. One is I would be very open to a law that would be in place to make sure that candidates have to disclose their taxes. That hasn't happened. But you also have to realize in America we have what's called no ex post facto, so you can't go backwards and charge someone for a crime that wasn't there. That's the reality. So the election happened. Going forward, I think it's something that we ought to talk about. It's something that ought to be presented in Congress, and I think it's something that I'd be supportive of. Let me get back to with Russia. I absolutely don't trust Russia. They are not our friend. They are trying to do things that harm us. And I'm going to do everything I can to do my job, to protect you, to fight for you. My allegiance is to you. I know a lot of you didn't vote for me. That's okay. I still, my